In 2019, I received a diagnosis in my mid to late 20s of autism. Autistic people are considerably more likely to suffer from suicidal thoughts, from suicide and suicidal ideation. They're more likely to be bullied, and they're more likely to suffer from autistic fatigue and exhaustion. The peace will never come. It never comes. And when it is there, it's taken away. When I was signed off work, it changed my life. I didn't know how I could exist in a world where we're only kept alive by society if we work. And the people who don't work are left to die or kill themselves. Being unemployed is a job that you can't take time away from. There isn't a boss for me to say, I need a break, make it stop, because there isn't a boss. I don't get annual leave, I don't get overtime. And anybody who doesn't realise that being unemployed is a job in itself, well, this is me telling you, it is. The unseen emotional labour that goes into being. The feelers in society. The part of the population that process the trauma that the people who work can't face because they're too important by doing a job out in the world. We're the ones who help make society a better place by pointing out the things that are wrong with it. We do work. This past several or so years where I've been claiming welfare has been so the most stressful, horrific time in my adult life. I work hard. I see work as synonymous with human existence. We can't be here and not work. We each play a role. Whether that's in the office, whether that's for an employer, whether that's for the state. The things that are expected of me, I can't do. And it's not because I've got mental health problems. It's because the expectations are fucking ridiculous. Why can't they just admit that? Why does it have to be me that has the problem or the issue or the disorder or the condition? The amount of stress and emotional burden and psychological burden that I'm dealing with right now is so high and so extreme. And yet, because of the way the system works, it's denied and not acknowledged. I can't do this anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to help because their concept of help and caring is so finely categorized that if what I need or I feel I want doesn't fall in alignment with what they can give or provide, then nothing happens. Well, Katrina, this is an example, by the way. If you don't want the help, we've been trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. No, you're not. You're trying to apply a concept to my situation that doesn't fit and actually contributes to the trauma and the distress and the pain and the anguish. Just because you want to give it doesn't make it help or support or guidance. Well, don't you want to take the help? You obviously don't want to help yourself if you don't want to take the help. Take it! Take the help! It's there for you! Take it! Take it! Sound familiar? And if you don't want it, you're the problem, not us. Sound familiar? Sounds like rape to me. Take it, and if you don't want it, you're the problem. I know the help I need and it's not available societally. It's the type of support that friendships or partnerships would provide. The amount of work that I'm doing is killing me, and because my work is my life, I live in the manifest experience of what my work is. This is emergency accommodation. This is where homeless people are housed. Right. The concept that I don't do anything, the concept that I sleep in all day, the concept that I'm lazy. From Monday to Friday, this place is a site where people attend for work. The staff arrive in the early hours, bang around, make noise, spray things, talk, do their job, and I'm awake alongside them doing it. What is work? Is work having an employer? Because I know people who turn up to work and don't fucking do anything, but they're at work. is work output, is work engagement, is work production, productivity. If I call my GP and say I'm not coping very well, nobody says, maybe it's your circumstances. Maybe it's deeply distressing and traumatic for an autistic person to live in such an environment. In addition, the completion of dense forms with lots of questions, lots of poorly phrased questions that are grammatically incorrect for a start, and then having to regale and retell emotional issues, physical problems, being trapped in that, never being able to just live. Then there's the court case. Not to mention the actual abuse itself prior to the court case, but I somehow have to establish a boundary or a level of understanding where I've been abused for so many months and bullied. Yeah. And that individual knew I was autistic. Because I told him. And he probably went on to tell other people. I say probably because the probability, the likelihood of that happening is very high. And the individuals that I'm referring to, I'm aware, based on how they treated me, that they knew that I was autistic, even though I had not told them that I was. Because they made comments about it in front of me. So, dealing with the concept of injustice is more than my body and mind and soul can handle. Knowing that there is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do. So, if I spend loads of energy on this court case creating a defence, first of all, that would involve solicitors, which I have solicitors, but it would involve them actually being active and doing anything. They're getting free money. They think I don't care, even though I do. I have to chase them because I'm unemployed. I've got all that spare time at home. Got all that spare time to chase people who are paid to do a fucking job. Then there's the emotional labour, the psychological trauma, the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the stress of doing the physical work, the administrative tasks related to compiling and forwarding the evidence to the defence, to the solicitors. Don't get paid for that. Don't have an office, don't have a computer. Then I get to court and no matter how good the defence is, I'm still found guilty. I still get charged. And I've put so much work, so much effort, and even a little bit of hope into believing that potentially justice might be served. And that instead of taking the incident out of context, but no. I'm going to be found guilty no matter what effort I put in. So why put the fucking effort in? And that's not disillusionment or lack of motivation. It's realization. I have to want to not to kill myself. I have to want to not kill myself. I have to save myself from suicidal thoughts and ideations because there is nobody else out there that's going to do it or can do it for me. And I have to accept that living an unjust life, living a life in an unjust world and society, which, if I was given the time and the inclination and resources, I could explain my understanding of quite thoroughly and articulately, actually, with multiple reference points. But people aren't actually interested in that, in my experience. They're not actually interested in the evidencing of corruption or injustice or inequality or disparity. They're not actually interested in creating change in alignment with what we know to be wrong societally and infrastructures. It's a lot of lip service. It's a lot of shouting into the abyss. And ultimately, the emotional expression is a release for people, and the partaking is a community for people. So very rarely is it actually about anything outside of that, in my understanding of it. Pardon me. I have to accept and take accountability for this, for this life, for my life, for my being alive, for my own consciousness. And that means accepting unfairness and severe anxiety and trauma and pain again and again and again. Because for me, it doesn't stop. It doesn't ever stop. I can't catch a break. There's no respite. It's everywhere. I've had a really good education. I've travelled and I've lived abroad. I've worked in different industries at different levels. If I base the judgment of my life on all the good things that have happened, then I've had a really good life. And if I base the judgment of my life on the not so good and the terrible things that have happened, then I've had a really hard life. But it doesn't quite feel the same to say that. I've faced challenges. Horrific challenges. It's the autistic children that I worry about. I can only hope that in some small way that me going through this autism journey is bulldozing as much crap out of the way of those who follow on their autism journey. I can only hope.